Hello! So this is just another blog on stuff in Korea, and I've been very busy, so I haven't made a blog or anything in a long time. In the past weeks, I've hiked another mountain. I went to Ypsilanti, which is a huge school function, which I will talk about. And I also went to other things like the Lantern Festival, which I have a cool little paper lantern right here. Ta-da! And they come in many different shapes and sizes. I have some cool pictures of me with the lantern lit up, and I'll probably steal some pictures from other people of the Lantern Festival. And so today what I want to talk about, and something I find amazing, is just, again, I guess the Korean economy, and how even though they have such a small GDP per capita, there's so much purchasing going on. There's just such a huge market for everything you can imagine, whether it's room culture like noribangs and the fun stuff, or clothes, or makeup, or food, or street vendor food, or coffee, or any of those other things. And there's a ton of chains and a ton of businesses in South Korea. And so coming here, in contrast to back home where there's like whole malls that are closing down and just businesses going out of business left and right, I feel that back home we mostly have a few large corporations which I at least shop at daily, like Target, things like that. Here, there's tons of little independent businesses and tons of little mom and pop businesses. And a lot of these businesses are literally on wheels and are driven in trucks, and I see them almost nightly in Annam Station on my walk back home. And so, like, I bought dried banana chips from one of them for 3,000 won, which comes out to a little less than $3 back home. And it's just amazing that it seems somehow, even though like these are really cheap, they still make a profit somehow. And I think the same thing for taxis. Like, I don't know, I haven't spent more than 9,000 won on a taxi. I've usually had someone with me, so we split it, and it's like 4,000 won each, 4,500. And it's really cheap. Just for the gas alone, I don't necessarily understand how people are able to maintain business without charging so much. But also another interesting thing about the Korean economy, I think there's just more people here with money to spend. And so looking at demand side economics, it seems that the more people have money, the more there will be trade between people. And I think that's a concept that's pretty simple and makes sense. But back home, at least a lot of college friends who I have, a lot of people seem to constantly be in debt and worry about debt. And then there's a few people who are well beyond debt and making a lot, but for the most part, a lot of people are either in debt up to their eyeballs or don't have that much in savings. So it doesn't leave people with a lot of purchasing power for goods, and it's kind of unfortunate. So I guess that's one of the things I'll miss here. And then also, in South Korea, I think I mentioned this before, but I'll mention it one more time just in case. But I've never really felt so safe in public before, or in general. For example, when I go to an ATM and I withdraw money, I never feel like it'll be stolen from me, or that if I'm, like fanning out my money in front of a bunch of people, that someone's gonna walk up and snatch it. Just crime is so low here, and again, I think that has to do with people already having money. But an important experience, I think I commented before that I had never really seen homeless people in South Korea. I think I got definitely a big glimpse into what it's like to be homeless in South Korea, and it was at 2, maybe 3 in the morning with me and some friends, and we were wanting to cross the street. And some of these intersections are so big that there really isn't any crosswalks, and traffic doesn't stop for pedestrians to cross the road. Instead, you have to go down through the subway and then come up on the other side. And so at 2 or 3 in the morning, we went down to the subway, and there were just tons of homeless people. And by tons, maybe I'm exaggerating. Like, all of the homeless people, I guess, were down there. um, and that's, I guess, where they sleep at night. And most of them had like a sleeping bag, something like that. It was interesting. I really, it's just another amazing thing about South Korea, I guess, is that I see so many homeless people home in Denver. Homeless people in Denver mostly sleep at like 16th Street Mall at night, or there's a certain corner downtown. I don't know, but there just seems to be so much more homeless people per capita than there is here. And the way that people beg, or the way that homeless people beg here, is also very different. I haven't really seen too many people hold signs saying, "Oh, give me money, like, need food," or anything like that. Rather, I see people bowing with like a hat in front of them, like humbling themselves, saying, I don't know exactly what the message is, but it feels very respectful. And then also I've seen some disabled people. For some reason, both of the people who I saw were both legless or missing some limbs or something. And again, they had a similar hat. They were on a cart that I think somehow they moved around on, and they had like a boombox, and they were playing just really, really, really loud music, and got people's attention. You just give money to them as you pass. But really, not that many beggars here. Not that many. I guess again, not that many people who need money. So it's kind of cool. It's kind of nice. So at Ypsilanti at Korea University was crazy. I'm trying to find my little stick here. At the event, there were a lot of these little blown up sticks like these, and usually you have two of them, but my butt was getting tired, and so I sat on one to try to like baby my butt and cushion it a little bit, and I popped it. So, but I still have one, and I can kind of demonstrate what these sound like. Basically, you knock the two of them together like this to make noise, and you can kind of hear that. It just makes like a very reverberating, cool noise. And so it's fun to go like, yeah, and like wiggle the sticks together. And as you can see, this stick thing was for a school event, and it is supported by a major beer company here called Cass, which Americans back home might think that's kind of weird that an alcohol company would help sponsor a school event. But alcohol here is really not seen as that much of a deal, and people seriously get shit-faced. So I think I commented on how Korean people work super duper hard. The opposite is also true. They party really, really, really hard. I don't know, just foregoing sleep and doing all sorts of stuff to literally just party and work. So I guess maybe the harder you work, the harder you play. I've learned so many drinking games here, and I've probably drank more here than I have anywhere else. But almost every event with Kuba, which is, I guess, the only club I'm really in, called Korea University Buddy Assistance. Almost every event we have, afterwards we go out to a bar or a restaurant and drink. And also, it's legal to drink if you're 18 and up here. So pretty much everybody who's in our study abroad program has been able to drink, even those who wouldn't be able to back home. And so it's been fun. But the concept of alcoholism doesn't really exist here. There's not really a problem with drunk driving because public transportation is so good. You literally don't have to have a car. You can just take the subway, and the subway is cheap, and it's fast, and it's convenient. And there's absolutely no reason to take it. But of course, the taxi system is also extremely good and also extremely cheap. So really, there's not really, I haven't seen any drunk driving or any people getting into a car, I guess, after going to a bar. You just walk to the nearest intersection, wave down a taxi, and off you go. But I don't know, I think it's the coolest thing ever. So otherwise, at this school event, there was a bunch of K-pop stars. It was a big deal. It was huge. Just tons of dancing, tons of school. I don't, not patriotic, but school spirit sort of things. And a lot of the school dances are so much fun. There's a lot of headbanging and moshing, which some people might be surprised that Koreans are into that. But between shuffling, headbanging, and moshing, and just like crunking, like waving your arms around, I think that's mostly the way that Koreans dance, and it's so much fun. Even the ladies get in on the mosh pits, which for people who are older and might not know what mosh pits are, it's kind of where you run into each other and push each other and kind of sort of hit each other on purpose. Usually you get into like a guarded stance, although I bopped heads super hard with this one Korean lady named Lyra. Like my chin went right into her forehead and it hurt super bad, but I just wasn't ready for the moshing, I guess. But you put your arms kind of up and then you go like, and like jump into other people and jump all around. And it's a ton of fun. Oh, there are so many things that I'm going to miss from South Korea, and I think so many things that our country could probably learn from South Korea. But, I don't know, I'm missing home right now too. So, as I have about 3 weeks left here, I'm going to try to plan out some of my last things that I want to get done here and there, and make the most of it before I come home. But this experience has changed me in so many ways, and I definitely want to pursue the Korean language and maybe try to go to a school either in the West Coast or maybe a school in Canada, but definitely I want to go to a grad school that will give me an opportunity to maybe come back to South Korea. And so that'll help me create, I guess, wipe out a bunch of schools to not apply to by that criteria. Maybe some last things to show people. I got a really cool Korea University jewelry box, and Korea's university symbol is the tiger, and tigers are basically symbols for being good at academics and working hard and stuff like that, like ferocious academic tiger. I don't know how else to describe it. This sort of artwork, or this sort of, I guess, rock work on top of this wood is a type of artwork or whatever specific to Korea. And they have a lot of cool jewelry boxes that have this stuff on it, and I might buy a few more. And in addition to that, I've also bought a lot of cool earrings and a lot of cool trinkets. As I said, there's a lot of stuff here in South Korea that I feel like I can't find back home, including some really cute stuff. Okay, a few more things. Like I bought my roommate this super cute bear bag. It's head unzips and then it's a little bear thing. And it's from Everland, which is like another knockoff of Disneyland, but it was fun. Oh yeah, I went to Everland too. I rode a bunch of roller coasters. But I waste a ton of money on these stupid little. It's like the crane game back home where you try to win a stuffed animal, but instead it's a little stick that pushes items through the window, and if you push it just right, it'll fall into the back and you win it. So inside one of these machines was this hat, and it is hilarious. So I had to get it. It says, "Love you forever," and then long time on it. So love you forever, long time. But the only thing that I would say is kind of hard about this experience is that I have to balance so much homework and so much things I am supposed to be doing back home, which I just haven't gotten done, with what I want to do here in Korea, and just so much I still want to do. But I gotta go. I'm gonna go eat dinner, and then I'm going to do tons of Korean homework, since I have 2 speeches due in each of my Korean classes. So, 안녕히, yeah, 안녕히 가세요. 감사합니다 for reading my blogs. See you later.